to the regular meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission. Could I have roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Stolnak,
Present.
Commissioner Lubes.
Present.
Commissioner Cavagnolo,
Here.
Vice Chair Watson,
Present.
Chair Moda.
I'm here. Thank you. Public communication related to city business only, and there's a 5-minute limit per person.
Pledge of Allegiance.
You know what? I can't even, I've been gone so long, I forgot that we have to do Pledge of
Let's do it.
Allegiance. We don't have to, we need to.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go back to public communication related to city business only. Anyone, step up to the mic, please state your name.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ted Hart. I'm a resident of El Segundo and the current president of the El Segundo Little League, and I'm here this evening with the full support of our board to provide input on the Rec Park renovations project and the future of Brett Field. El Segundo Little League will have just under 500 registered players this coming season. As one of the primary users of Brett Field, we appreciate the Commission's thoughtful approach to evaluating improvements to Rec Park via the Park Renovation Subcommittee and value the opportunity to share a practical stakeholder perspective. I'm here to advocate for artificial turf for the infield portion of Brett Field, an option that was identified within the capital renovation program that was previously presented to City Council. We believe artificial turf aligns with the city's goals related to field availability, maintenance planning, and long-term stewardship of public facilities. More specifically, we're advocating for a hybrid design, a turf infield paired with the current natural grass outfield, which would preserve the traditional character of Brett Field while addressing the areas that experience the greatest wear and tear. This approach has been widely adopted by other cities and little leagues across our region as a balanced and effective solution. First, an artificial turf field would significantly increase field availability and reliability. In its current natural grass configuration, Brett Field is highly sensitive to rain during the early months of the year and Little League season, leading to closures and canceled games that often cannot be rescheduled. In addition, the field is typically closed for approximately 3 months each year, from November through January, as it currently is now, for resodding and infield maintenance. A turf infield would greatly reduce these closures and allow for more consistent year-round use for residents and the Little League. Second, artificial turf would reduce the level of ongoing maintenance required. Natural grass baseball infields require continuous grooming, watering, regrading, and repair each day. Turf would eliminate many of these recurring needs, resulting in more predictable upkeep and lower long-term costs over time. With respect to cost, we recognize that this is an important consideration. In surveying other Little League programs in municipalities that have made this transition, we have found that the total cost to convert a baseball infield to artificial turf has averaged approximately $250,000, depending on scope and site conditions. Estimates previously provided to City Council assumed millions of dollars. While each project is unique, this figure provides a reasonable benchmark and suggests that a turf infield is a manageable investment when evaluated alongside long-term reduced closures and maintenance savings. Our goal is not to advocate for unnecessary upgrades, but to support a practical option already under consideration that would improve durability, usability, and long-term stewardship of Brett Field. We respectfully ask the Commission to give a serious consideration to installing turf field for the infield portion of Brett Field as part of the Rec Park renovations project. Thank you for your time and your continued commitment to our parks and the El Segundo Little League community. Thank you.
Ted, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay. With that, we'll close public communication. Did you want to comment or not?
No, I appreciate the comments, and I will talk with Linnea, and we will update the commission as needed.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Can we let Ted know before he goes that there's a subcommittee meeting tomorrow that he can speak at as well? Public communication.
I'm aware.
You're aware of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Awesome.
Okay,
Good night.
thanks, Ted. With that, just the consent calendar here. Regular meeting minutes from December 17th, 2025. Anyone?
Move to approve.
Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 5-0. Thank you. New business, employee spotlight. Sean Green.
Yes, honorable chair and members of the commission, this is very exciting to see. I was out last week when they made their final selection, and I was very pleased to see the certificate on my desk today because Sean is truly an asset to our team. In the 3.5 years that I've been here, Sean has been flexible and supportive. He's open to new ideas. He is a team player, and he is always willing to help out with anything that I ask of him, and I believe anything that Linnea asks as well. So this is very well deserved, and I will turn it over to Linnea because I think she has some specific notable achievements to share as well.
Okay, so sorry, I just always have to say a little thing so you know why we're doing this. But today I'm excited to recognize Sean Green, whose impact reaches far beyond the clubhouse and youth programming. I'm not sure everyone knows this, but Sean oversees the special event permit process for events throughout El Segundo that utilize public property. This includes block parties, extra large picnic gatherings, parades, runs, and large festivals or events at parks or on streets. Over the last few years and through this process, Sean had to take on large projects such as transitioning from paper event applications to OpenGov and ensuring that all events inquiries throughout the city have approval from all departments. Also, while it is fresh in our minds, this job also oversees the operations of Candy Cane Lane. So Sean consistently excels at collaborating across multiple teams, bringing people together to deliver successful, well-organized events that truly benefit our entire community. Sean's leadership doesn't stop there. Sean also oversees an impressive range of youth programming, from drama, youth contract classes, the new after-school program, teen center, and camps. Through his dedication, countless young people are given opportunities to grow, explore new interests, and feel supported in a safe, welcoming environment. His ability to balance big picture collaboration with hands-on program and event leadership is truly exceptional. There isn't a new program or idea that we have that doesn't include Sean, whether it is bringing in his many years of experience to run ideas through or his even-keeled way of directing the many staff on where to go during setups and cleanups. I always am appreciative to have Sean by my side. RPL is grateful for Sean's commitment, teamwork, and reliability he continues to give this department and city. Please join me in recognizing and thanking this outstanding employee for their continued contributions to our organization and community.
All right.
Would you like to speak?
Do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, let's let him
in the
speak.
picture.
Let's go ahead.
Gotta
And
follow the protocol.
I know it's many years, Sean, but how many years?
2001, so 25.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
it's
what
kind
you
of
do.
weird. The many years was kind of nice instead of 25, but yeah,
Yes.
doesn't it? I didn't really expect any of this, so I've heard this at 10 o'clock this morning, so I appreciate the kind words. I don't know exactly what to say up here. Thank you. I've enjoyed working here for a long time. It's been great. I want to keep moving forward with things, so excited to work with you guys and with the team. So thank you for everything.
Sean, thank you very much. Let's go out and get a picture. right. With that, we'll receive and file that and move to unfinished business, the aquatics lane allocation policy.
Yes, Honorable Chair and members of the commission, tonight, our aquatics manager, Joe Lormans, will be presenting an update to the aquatics lane allocation policy. I'm sure Joe will explain this in his presentation, but this will be the final stop for the allocation policy, so it will not be going to council. We will be looking for your approval and recommendation this evening. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Joe.
Good evening, Honorable Chair and Commission. Thank you for having me tonight. At the last Rec and Park Commission meeting, I presented in depth on the policy. The feedback was given to me by the Commission to change wording in certain places, correct grammatical and spelling issues, and then some wording with the Wiseburn School District. I presented on the details of the policy, including the calendar of the lane allocation, the utilization and reallocation, code of conduct and good faith, insurance requirements, and just other policies that were included in this overall document. The spelling errors and the punctuation has since been corrected, and another error where it noted Wiseburn, the city of Wiseburn was changed to Wiseburn Unified School District. So I believe that all of the corrections have since been made. If there's any additional feedback, I am happy to discuss.
Okay, and I do like at the, you've changed the part where it says the Recreation and Parks Commission is the sole decision maker now in the event of a tie or dispute resolution related to the allocation process.
Correct.
So that was perfect. Anyone? I think it looks great also.
I have one question that I should have asked last time.
Go ahead.
And that is, I know this has been vetted for a long period of time over a number of people compared to other cities. It's solid, it's fair. We're all proud to pass it, and we're proud of you for spearheading it. My question is there any group that you think is gonna say this is unfair? Is there any part of this that is like, this is the one group that's gonna feel like we did something unfair? Is it the same group that came to the council? Is that group gonna feel that way about this policy? And is that the only group, or are there others? Are there any concerns if this is passed by you, I guess is really what I'm asking, or has all that been vetted and you're confident that any complaints are not warranted?
I do not think that any group will think that this policy itself is unfair. I think it gives very clear direction as to how to get more pool space if it is desired by giving priority to El Segundo residents, putting El Segundo kids in the pool, and ultimately offering more services to the people that live within our town. I have sent this policy to all of the user groups that rent from us. They have reviewed it, they have asked questions about it, but there has not been any unfairness that I have picked up on from any of the conversations that I have had with them.
Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's all for me.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this new policy, lane policy.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you,
5-0.
everyone.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
Good
you very,
job.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Moving right along, reports, Recreation Parks and Library Director.
Yes, because we don't have a lot of other agenda items, if it's okay, I'd like to just go through a couple highlights from the director's report that was provided to you in your packet. First of all, obviously, I want to extend my gratitude and thanks to our team for really taking on the bulk of the Candy Cane Lane organization, managing residents, responding to residents, juggling a million different balls in the air, and really being in a situation where there wasn't a way that everybody was going to be happy. That's a really hard spot for staff to be in. And I really want to commend Linnea and Sean and Rachel and Devin and all of my key staff who really were the ones out there every night dealing with it. They did a phenomenal job. We had a staff meeting last week, an internal staff meeting, with all of the departments that were involved in Candy Cane Lane. It got a lot of important feedback from that meeting, and then that evening, Sean hosted a community meeting as well. So we got some feedback from that, and right now I'm compiling all of the information, the reports from PD, all the costs from each department, and I'm going to put together a comprehensive memo for the city manager and share with him some ideas and proposals for next year, and then he will ultimately determine if that needs to go before the city council or if it's going to be a receive and file on his behalf. But overall, I think it went well. Every year it's a little bit better. Every year there's going to be people who are unhappy, but I feel like we put a lot of good minds in the room and really gave it our best effort to make it something that was, enjoyable for the community. In addition to that, I do want to commend Linnea for her work on the Rec Technologies contract, which is going to be our new registration software. She spent a lot of time evaluating a number of different companies. She set up demos with staff and held several meetings with not just our own internal staff, but IT department, finance. It was really a pretty significant project, and she did a fantastic job, and the council approved the contract, so we will be moving forward with implementation. It looks like that might happen sometime in the late summer or early fall, just because of the time that it will take them to transfer from our current system to that system. And that involves a lot of training and just kind of a lot of steps to get there. But I'm very proud of her, and I think the commission will be very pleased with the program. The software, it's super easy to use. It's more in line with all of the other sort of web apps and development programs that are out there that people are used to using. So it has a similar look and feel. It'll be something I think it'll be easy for everybody to navigate. So I wanted to commend her on that. And then additionally, Chris left, but the Rec Park renovation project continues to move forward. They have received bids and they are being reviewed by staff currently. And as it indicates in the report, it's really addressing quite a bit of different issues in the park. We will move, the feedback we received tonight, we'll move that along. We'll forward that to the team. And you see whether or not that's even feasible to incorporate at this point. But other than that, there's a lot of information about all the things that have been going on, and I'm happy to answer any questions about anything in the report or anything else the commission has.
I was just going to ask on the renovation project.
Yes.
What is our role in that as commission? Because I know it's at subcommittee, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, this project has been underway for many years, and so, but I would say it really sort of kicked off in August of 2022, which was when we had a joint meeting of the commission and the council to sort of talk about Rec Park and how do we address that. And that's when we determined to do a phased approach. And then staff started working on recommendations and, got a consultant involved. And so the project has been to the commission multiple times in the past few years, I believe. So your role was really design and advise, take a look at plans, ask questions, help refine things. So that's sort of been the role. And at this point now it lives in Public Works. Because now it becomes a construction project, and so then it sort of shifts from us to Public Works.
But I will say that it kind of shifted once the subcommittee was formed. It was coming through here more until the subcommittee was formed, and now a lot of that feedback is done at the subcommittee level.
Yeah, I guess that's because
Yes.
the teen center is part of this, right?
Yes.
So obviously we got a lot of input around the teen center, and just as Ted's question come up, because he had asked me what
Sure.
the plan was, et cetera, I said, I have no clue,
Yeah.
right? And my assumption was that this hadn't been addressed yet or decided yet, because we hadn't, and I've been here for, I don't know, a year and a half now.
Probably before that you guys, yeah, it was probably at least 2, maybe 2.5
So the
years.
teen center was really the last thing to be decided?
Well, the specifics. It was the first thing to be on the
Yes,
docket,
so
but
here
the
we go,
last
the
of the.
specifics, I guess
Yeah.
is my question, right?
Yes.
So the specifics around some of these things, have those already been decided, or?
Yes, it's come before the
So
commission.
for all the other stuff, the specifics have been decided?
Yes.
So let me make a recommendation, because I hear what you're saying. This should be one of the reports we have. We have our reports from committees. we should have Bob be our,
He usually will give an update.
in his report.
Yeah, just like
But,
aquatics
but
is
if we
required.
okay, gets just incorporated into your report. Okay, but yes, Bob and I have been involved, not to the point of an actual page turn of the entire architectural design, but looking at actual inches away, like,
Yeah.
we're looking at specifics, like this fence shouldn't be this should be about 12 inches away from that wall, like, some, like a fair amount of detail, a reasonable amount of detail, so that we didn't bug Linnea too much.
Conversation about
but we
turf
still bug her a
very
little bit.
early on. It was, because soccer wanted it too, because that field is very.
Or Brentfield.
Yeah, so very early on, there was a big conversation. I don't know that any of us thought to take it into like have the infield versus outfield. I think that might be new information.
Okay.
But I don't know, I shouldn't speak for Bob, he's been involved, but we did have a turf conversation. And we do have to, whatever we do, have to keep in mind that field is also in use for other sports during other.
Yes, I understand that for the rest of for the grass portion, I think makes perfect sense, and that's why I was curious about this one.
Yeah, those quotes of millions of dollars were for the whole thing, so, and that was decided it was not feasible.
But we feel like we are representing all 5 of us when we're in that subcommittee
Correct,
meeting, just
yeah.
like you guys do, like
Understood.
yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, a long answer, a short question. But as far as, since we were talking about the turf for a moment, turf has been talked about in subcommittee meetings at various times. It was talked about here too, and there's varying opinions about, should you just do the sides, should you do just the infield? All discussions that I've been a part of, both here and the subcommittee, have been very open. Like, everyone's really open to the ideas, like, let's look at the finances, let's see if it's,
Yeah.
if it's doable. I don't think anyone disagrees that it's nice to have a nice even ground ball, and it's nice to be able to get back on there the day after the rain. I mean, there's a lot of good points being made. I don't think anyone disagrees with all of that. When it comes down to it, it's gonna be, is it reasonable from a financial perspective or not? Can you get the payback over time? Is that worth the amount that it pays? I think 250 is probably pretty close for just an infield. That's probably pretty close.
It is pretty good, close
Yeah,
in price.
yeah.
But we are, the way I've seen this is that's phase 2. Brett and the softball field, phase 2, correct? Help me
Yeah,
out.
am I allowed to jump in?
Yes.
Yes.
So in phase 1 included teen center,
Both.
George Brett, softball field, lawn bowling, and like courts, cracking, that type of thing. So as Public Works and in our committee, we prioritize teen center. So that's why we've like had MIG, who's designing both. We're like, use all your efforts towards teen center. They're working slowly on the fields.
Right.
The big item with the fields is it used to be a tile dumping ground. So there is a level 2 reporting to LA County. So the Public Works Department has a meeting, I believe this month, so probably either this week or next week, we'll probably find out at Park Reno, with county to talk about the scope and what would trigger what. But mainly, they're designing it, but they have to get the percolation report telling us where the tile is, how deep,
far we can
and
go.
how far we can go down, and how much LA County will allow us to dig up these tiles.
without significant mitigation efforts. So that's what's going to drive this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so the full design and like the contract and bidding out the project has not been done yet. It's still in the design phase currently for the fields.
For the fields.
Yes. The only, yes.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
The only ones that have like, so the teen center should be the next one to go RFP bid for construction to happen, and that should happen before hopefully summer. And then the court cracking, that has gone to contract. And then on a side project, Hilltop Park Reservoir, demolition is scheduled to start Monday.
Yeah.
So those are just kind of projects that we've kind of been touching base on. But unfortunately, the ball fields, they really wanted to prioritize teen center, so it's been dragged down a little bit.
2 things. I was gonna say, again, I feel that we've had a fair amount of input into each phase so far. I feel like we've had a lot of input. And the other thing I was gonna say was, I don't think it was a dump, it was a tile factory
Yes.
where
Or
they,
it's-
where they didn't like they might have like not followed all rules, but I don't think it was an actual dump.
Yeah.
It was just just like.
Yeah.
back in the day in the
It was
50s, you-
Mosaic
if
Tile
you-
Factory,
Yeah.
If
okay?
you, if you buried some accidentally, no one cared, right? Yeah, I just didn't want anybody to think it was an actual dump.
So,
In the outfield.
my question, Linnea, is who is reviewing the percolation report? Is it the city or the county, or is it both?
Both. I believe they will be going over the percolation report with county.
And the engineer and,
Okay. We'll see when that happens. Okay,
all right?
okay, anything else? No,
Nothing else from, I mean, unless you had any
No,
more questions, I think that was
Can
Commissioner
I,
Cavanaugh.
can I ask about, on Candy Cane Lane?
Yes.
How did the community meeting go? I wasn't able to attend that, but I had sent in an email about my things. How did it go and how was the attendance?
It went really well. I think there were 22 people, if I remember correctly, that were in attendance. There were some that were on Zoom. We have talked about potentially offering one additional opportunity for the community to come because there have been a few people that said they didn't know. We sent it out to everybody that we had email addresses for. Now, granted, we're focusing on the 1200 and the 1100 block. So that's kind of who we really focused that community outreach on. But we will probably have one maybe sometime in February, so that, we could just give people one last opportunity to share. But overall, the feedback was, I mean, it's the same stuff that I think is gonna continue to be an issue. There are people who want it bigger and more festival-like, and there are people who hate it and want it to go away altogether, and it's how do we find that balance? I will share that one of the things that definitely did not work was having the 1100 block closed and then allowing people to come in and out with the parking permits. They sort of saw those parking permits as a free pass to come and go as much as they wanted, and so prior 2024, the police had about 5 to 10 escorts during the entire period. This time they had 135.
I think it was 157.
Yeah, okay, 157, whatever, it's too many, and the police were very unhappy. And it was, they felt it was a significant issue, and there were some residents that were really disrespectful to the officers, and it's just not what they want to be, the police have things they need to do, and driving people in and out because they want to, go somewhere and get a hamburger or whatever, we've got to figure that out, so. That was kind of the number one thing, and then this hot chocolate candy sales, that was a big deal too. And it pushed out, I mean, it wasn't just, it was like, we did a really good job of managing it right on those 2 blocks, but they were on Walnut, they were on Center, they were everywhere. So Estella did a good job because she would go out, but I mean, it was just very, very challenging.
So, yeah, and my one thing each time is the trash, and the trash, and I mean, people just don't throw trash away
Right.
for some reason
Right.
anywhere. But, I, live in that neighborhood and walk in the mornings, and I would be all the way up at Washington, and I would be up
Yes.
Acacia, and like near Dave's. It doesn't go up as far as Dave's, but it does go up Acacia, the trash. It goes up Walnut to probably Maryland, and then there was trash and beer cans and all that stuff along Washington. But it wasn't being picked up because it would be there like 2-3 mornings in a row, the same stuff, So I wish there were, like, some of my neighbors put out trash receptacles.
Right.
And so I was picking up trash and putting it in those, but, yeah, the trash just keeps getting pushed out.
It's tricky because we work with EDCO, and EDCO gives us the bins, and they're like, this is all we have to give you, so, we have the paper ones, or they'd offer those paper ones, but then, those get sprinklers and they melt, they're on the ground, and we were getting tons of complaints, so, it's just a challenging project, and it seems like not a big deal, just put out more trash cans. Well, then that's his team that's going around now, not just these 2 blocks, but however many blocks out, so it's something we're gonna keep working on, right? Chris and his team spent a lot of time dealing with trash.
Right.
You look like you want to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there at night, patrolling the
Every night,
streets.
yeah.
And then, to have them come back in the morning to do another patrol is just,
Not feasible.
Yeah.
Right, and, they were, I mean, that's all overtime. I mean, those are people that we're paying overtime, and they work a full day, and then they have to come back at 8 o'clock at night. So I think, I can tell you that I think, that city staff feel like there just isn't much more we can give, in terms of resources and time. It is, it's challenging, but, so, I don't think it's gonna be an easy answer for us.
Yeah, I mean, even on the trash thing, even if at the close at, at 10 o'clock, when the lights are to go off and people are leaving, which did work.
Yeah, that
It
worked.
did work. To take a pickup truck and drive around and pick up the trash that's left, because then the next morning, the street sweeper was coming by, but everybody's got their cars parked out there now, and so they're going around, and I'm like, oh, well, there's all the trash, because a car was blocking it,
Right.
So, it's almost like if they could drive a couple of blocks, which is, Washington and Acacia and Walnut and Center Street, and scoop it up, because it just gets pushed out, and there are some of us that pick up, but others that don't. So, okay, thank you.
I'm only half kidding when I say this. What about a adopt the block program?
Yeah, well,
Like,
it would be really
Like, I would
amazing
adopt
if there
a
were
block.
volunteers that would,
Just
that
gonna
would,
ask
Yeah,
that. Can we
volunteers,
engage
like,
some
I
of the
wonder-
NCL can send a
maybe
bunch
that's
of
what we can
Yeah.
do, or, the
NCL's a
kids
good
that are
one. They all need
selling.
community service
The
hours.
kids that were selling the hot chocolate, we heard from all the parents, oh, they'll go out and they'll clean all up that, and we didn't have anybody helping us. Correct?
They said that there wasn't gonna be any trash at all from there.
There was trash everywhere, and it was all those
That
things.
was-
It was coffee cups
That's
and
disappointing,
chocolate cups.
after that
and-
conversation at council.
And I know
Very
what
disappointing.
volunteers comes with other problems, and then people don't show up, and I get it, and it's easy to say, it's a lot harder to do, but I mean, even just an
can look
informal,
into it.
like, maybe an informal thing, there's probably 4 people up here who would adopt the
Yeah,
block.
absolutely. That's actually a really good idea. I think that's a really good idea. We'll incorporate that. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, seeing none, we will go to reports from Recreation and Park staff. Who's,
Turn it over to, I don't know who wants to start.
Linnea, anything?
Chris?
Chris?
Chris will go. Okay.
Couple updates. We've begun or in the process of doing the field renovations right now. We've also addressed the drainage areas there on Stevenson Field. We've smoothed those down, and so we've got all that going in progress, the outfields and so forth. We also have the community garden renovation initiating end of this week, and that'll be put together for the upcoming gardening season. And we also have trying to get the laser grading incorporated as well on the fields. That's been a challenge. This year was challenging. It was all the wet weather we had in December and so forth. It kind of pushed everything back. We were a lot later getting onto the fields ourselves because of the fields were wet and so forth. So that was the challenge we faced this year. And I'll take any questions.
Can I ask, what is the update or what is the plan on the 2 graffiti areas in the parks along Washington that I have addressed several times? The wall at Washington Park, behind the playground there, and then also the concrete pad where the tables sit at, I think it's Constitution.
All we can do is paint over them.
But it's been close to a year, so I don't know whether portable sandblaster to get that off, but especially the one that's at Constitution Park needs to be taken care of because it's a racial slur there. No. And that whole concrete pad could be just painted over and take care of that. Or, has the city looked into getting a portable sandblaster to take care of certain areas when the graffiti comes up, and, you know, and do it that way. And a lot of times, it doesn't have to be sand that's being blasted. You can blast also with ground nutshells. But I really think it needs to be taken care of. I've brought it up many times, and even the graffiti that's there on the wall at Washington Park, needs to be taken care of. It's just, it doesn't look good. And the one that really bothers me is the one at Constitution Park.
Can you guys take a look at that this week, Chris? Sure. Okay. Perfect.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Anything else for Chris?
Oh, one other thing along there. Can you give us an update or what happened, all those bronze plaques that were stolen off of the memory benches along Imperial? And I know they were taken because of the bronze. What's happening with that, and how many, I think there were quite a few that were reported stolen.
I've heard 7 were stolen. We've received probably 3 or 4 people come forward. Our intent is to replace them. And we've thought about either finding another way to adhere them to the benches, or even going to a different material than bronze. Don't quite know how the people will feel about that.
Right.
But,
So I can show you another material. You know, I used to own a sign company, and actually the sign that's in the pollinator garden, and I'm having some new ones made for some benches at Center Street School that will be out of the same material and filled, will last with the sprinklers and the weather and all of that, and they're not gonna want the metal. That's the thing, they're coming after the bronze to melt it down and get the money for it. So, and then the ones that are done out of the brass don't last, and the plastic, you know, gets brittle and breaks, and those don't last. I can show you what it is I'm talking about or using now that works. But I know there were quite a few of those stolen over there, which was too bad. Somebody just went through and
right.
took them all off. And I think you need to do an epoxy and hardware on there where they're all mounted with, you know, the screws that are the anti-theft, and then also some epoxy, because we're having problems with the same ones in Library Park where they keep breaking them off. So I have the new ones coming and going to be putting those on a different way.
Sure, I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Okay. Linnea, anything?
Okay, I just have a few things. I did Kelly and Mark, sorry for the late notice, but the Transportation Subcommittee, it will be the first Wednesday of the month, 8:30 to 9:30. Mark did catch the Zooms at 6 a.m., so there was a change that went out, and so you'll see several meeting request invites for the next few months for that. You'll also see in the next few weeks, we are starting with M. Gann, our cultural arts coordinator, just finalizing what the teens would like for art at the teen center before we go out and get those finalized projects approved by the ACC and council. So we're going to workshop a little teen feedback event. So that should be coming up. There is, I already talked about the Hilltop Reservoir, but also one of my projects is updating our signage throughout the parks. So we started just with a few of the ones that are kind of in temporary form. So we made finalized for El Segundo Connect. So if people are at a park, they see graffiti on the bench, they can just scan at the parks and see this on the signs, and they can report those issues. We have ones for reminding people of the dog municipal code, having them on the leash, and then reminders about the e-bikes. So I am going to be walking through finding signs to add them to throughout the parks, but if you guys have any feedback or think of any areas that you see these problems consistently, please let me know so I make sure a sign gets to those locations. So open to any feedback for that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right.
Joe.
Joe, I'm sorry.
Joe, can you give an update on the plunge? Oh, sorry. I meant the art project. I just meant the art project. Yes, yes. Both the art projects.
Yeah, I don't want to steal.
No.
Update this morning for the aquatic subcommittee. The plunge art project, the mural is completely installed. The artist came late December and worked for about 2.5 weeks. They kind of worked around the clock during the time that they were here and got it completely finished. It is absolutely stunning. It's currently covered with cardboard with signs that say fragile on it because there's still a lot of stuff going on construction-wise, and we don't want it to get damaged. But Allie got an opportunity to see it, and I think everybody who's seen it has been very happy with it. And with that, I will let you give the update on the rest of the aquatic stuff.
The historical display.
The historical display, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. Sorry, Kelly, were you gonna update on that?
So we formed a historical display working group consisting of Mark Lee and Jane Burrell from the Arts and Cultural Committee. We established goals and kind of parameters to work within for the displays at the plunge. And then with the onboarding of our new cultural arts coordinator, we engaged her, MGON, and have given her all of the stuff that we've already gathered and talked about, and she has put together a whole bunch of ideas and inspiration, and she has quite the vision for these displays at the plunge, and I feel a whole lot more confident and comfortable with the project now because we have her helping. It's really cool to have an expert help when it comes to art because I'm not the most artistically inclined person. So that is the update that I have on that.
Perfect. Sorry, Kelly.
Okay. That's all of
Yes.
staff's reports. Okay, we're gonna move on to commissioner reports. Julie?
Yeah, a couple of things. I wanted to say how nice the outside of the library looks with the new paint job. No longer the green moss on there and being dirty. It looks really nice. I was in the park working yesterday in the pollinator garden and look over and the library is nice and white and really was a nice job. Wondering if there's another plunge tour coming up. I'm still waiting to get in on that since I missed the other one. And do we have a new dedication date yet or closing in on something?
Do you want to give that in your update? Okay.
Okay, and then I just wanted to give an update on how the Christmas Eve luncheon at the Joslin Center went this year. I was really afraid because we had the big storm, Storm Watch 2025, and with all the rain, and I was like, are the seniors going to be coming out for this lunch? And all the food had already been ordered, and Linnea hopped on it and got the park people to contact all the people that had RSVP'd, and they showed up. We just did add a few more home-delivered meals to those that were not going to come, but we had, I think it was 65 in attendance, and then I think we delivered 21 meals. They loved the new decorations, they loved the games, they were all into the games again, and they had a really good time. And then we had 2 people doing the live music. And it was really a fun event, and I had many seniors come up to me and say, this was the best ever. It was ever, and they did, but they said, your trivia is getting harder for us. And could you maybe give us multiple choice next year? But they had a great time, and then also we had a resident that had made all of these Christmas crafts, and so we had that for every person to take something home at the end. And then they got a little ornament at their table as well. So it was a great event, and each year it seems to be getting better, and we had about 35 volunteers as well. And that's it.
Okay. Julie, thank you. Dave?
Congratulations to Mr. Green. 25 years. You went over like kind of the stuff he's doing the last couple years, but before that, he was pretty much done everything. So I know how valuable he is to the department. I wanted to thank him for his years of service as well, and the impact he's had on kids and adults exercising and playing sports. It matters, and it's cool. So congratulations to Sean.
Thanks.
Okay. Mark?
I don't have anything. Ms. Watson's going to be providing the update on the aquatics subcommittee, because I was not there.
Feel the pressure because
Yeah.
Mark always does such a
Yes.
great
You Right, right.
Very detailed notes today.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah. good.
Thank you. Okay. Kelly?
All right, so the aquatics, we did meet this morning. It was a special meeting because of the holidays, and so next, just a note, next month's meeting will also be on a Wednesday. All right, so drum roll, you know, the plunge unfortunately is not going to be meeting the date of end of February, the targeted date, because Edison has not been able to install the transformer. So that is now the critical path unit. Everything else, we can't move the scaffolds out. We can't do a whole bunch of stuff until that gets done. And there's no power. So because of no power, we got a very detailed report today on all the things that can't be done because the power's not in. So it's unfortunate, but it's really dependent on Edison, and they don't have a date. However, they did tell us that they probably will still move forward on summer programming. So, you know,
That's the goal.
that's the goal. So it's kind of sad after all of this that it comes back, it comes down to Edison, but, you know, I think Edison does have a lot of problems right now, so it's probably not surprising. One thing so we do not have a new date. They are working on a date. The website has not been updated, so they're going to prioritize that because clearly this is probably the most focus we're going to get on the website as to what's happening, where are we. So they're going to put an update and try to, you know, at least, because a ton of stuff did happen. I could go through the list, but it's really long. So they're gonna make sure that they update the website by the end of this week. And then the resident complaints about traffic and the escalated problem. They think that was temporary because of the fact that they were actually putting down the concrete and the sidewalks and had to shift everything into traffic. And then also the city was doing public works repaving at the same time, so it kind of was a confluence of things. But they feel like they're getting through that and that should abate. But they are aware, and they've been extra mindful of telling the contractors to be out on the street doing the traffic control and things like that. So they're aware of it. The mural, exciting things there. And then, the memorabilia committee, which you gave an update on. Okay. Aquatic Center also has had some maintenance stuff that they're working on, and so if people are complaining, you need to know that they're aware of it. There have been delays in getting this stuff fixed, but basically the northeast storage room had a roof leak. That's been, the all-gender restroom has a lock issue that's being fixed, and the men's locker room thermostat, somebody ripped the thermostat off the wall, and so they have to source a new one, and that's been problematic. So they are on it, they know about it, and it's really Wiseburn that fixes those things, so they're on it. Tell me if I'm saying anything wrong.
The key point is all of these items are in Wiseburn's maintenance and operations.
Yes,
So
and they're
we're
all
waiting.
known about, so
Yes.
it's not like,
They have been notified and are being followed up on.
right. Good news on the capital campaign update, I guess, well, because you weren't there, so Joe gave the update, but I guess we've raised $400,000 from donor wall plaques. I saw yours, Julie. $400,000 from donor wall plaques. And there are going to still be opportunities, so even though they are gone to print and they're going to be up on the wall, there will be open ones available, so if people want to add, they can take the plaque, they can go etch it and put it back. So there will be spaces and people can point to their space and they can still donate. So that's exciting, that's going to go on the wall soon. And I guess overall, the number is 2.5 million that's been raised so far, is that? That's what I heard today, that's what I wrote down today.
Yes,
so.
and
Very exciting.
manager's gonna be meeting with Mr. Lindquist to talk about the campaign and where we're at and what other things they may have in the hopper.
Our current cap is 2.5 then, or
I- Cap, like our,
current gap?
oh, yeah, it's probably 2.5, yes.
Cool.
But
And
the
then,
donor wall is
It looks really
Awesome.
good. I know, I saw the proof too. That's
Yes.
what I saw, Julie. All right, so there was also been, as part of the business plan, there was a recommendation to city council to increase some fees. We have been way below market on a lot of things. And they have managed to eke out a couple of small increases. So some user group rentals have gone up. And all the user groups know and we're aware of that. And then also swim lessons, they actually decided, because there was some pushback on swim lesson increases, even though we are literally half of what the market is, they've left the level 1 to 4 at that same, literally $50 for 6 lessons, I think, a series of 6, which is just nuts. But they did, for the higher end, the level 5 and up, where people are starting to get stroke improvement and things like that, and it looks like they might be going towards competitive swimming as opposed to just learning to swim. Those they've raised close to market.
Yes.
So I think it's a long time coming. My personal opinion, though, is we need to keep raising these and seeing if it impacts demand. And if it doesn't impact demand, we need to keep going. So, and then making sure, of course, that we have scholarship. I did ask about scholarship. We have scholarships and literally nobody's applied for scholarship.
Right.
So.
And just, if I can add on to that too, they also approved an annual CPI increase, because that was something I requested. And I know that we're still way below market on our water safety, but I felt this was a good compromise, and it was a win for us to get this.
For sure.
Um,
Right. If you'd gone with a whole pack.
They didn't want to raise any fees, and then we talked, and it was like, well, okay, they want water safety, well, that would be the early, and we agree.
So smart, yeah.
And then, but then if you're really going into competitive, and then I think we have a different level of responsibility, or, we have less responsibility to subsidize that, in my opinion.
Recovery, but don't raise fees.
Yeah, well,
That's exactly.
Don't raise all fees.
I literally said the same thing.
This is the challenge, because schools make money off of swim lessons, we do not. So we are making money in other ways, which is challenging for user groups, et cetera. And we're less than half, we're like a quarter,
yeah.
right?
Well,
of
and,
market.
and as a parent, you're trying to get into the swim lessons, which are completely full. And when you have to then go elsewhere, you're paying 3 times as much. And you're like, I'd rather pay twice as much and be in my own, or the same and be in my own community. Because it's, even sitting on Sepulveda to go to Westchester was an absolute royal pain. Yeah, I did it for years because I could never get into our swimming lessons.
We'll have more. We'll have lots more this year.
I did want to clarify, I'm going to, once we have a year of the scholarship program, I'm going to give an update of how many have applied. We have been getting submissions every single quarter, and I don't know how much detail I should give, but there was a family that I did do swim lessons all through summer on scholarship. So I personally registered them,
The people
so.
are using it, and
Yes.
they're knowledgeable. people
Yeah,
are
we're
aware.
doing it better, we're marketing it more, so.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not everything, is it?
Sorry, that's everything for aquatics. The Major Events Committee did not meet. We are meeting, next Wednesday. But I did attend a meeting with the City of Los Angeles about the FIFA World Cup planning, and we're aligning with that to make sure that our community is well represented and that we have, a big active participant role in that. What the City of LA really wants to do is make sure that all of the communities are activated and look like a cohesive whole. So there's some branding stuff that we have an opportunity to participate in. There's a major events guide, and then there's just, can we extend some of their activations with some of our own? So that's what the Major Events Committee is going to be talking about next week.
Okay. Thank you for that detailed report.
Just trying to keep up
How'd
with
you do,
Mark.
There hasn't been a park rental meeting. There should be one tomorrow. And congratulations to Sean. I've known him longer than those 25 years he's been an employee. But fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for that. And with that, we'll adjourn to our next regular scheduled meeting.